It's showtime. What's up, good people, and welcome to the Frank Harris Show, the biggest, the baddest, the best, and the most provocative show on earth. And look who we have back, my boy, Dominican E. Yo, E, what's the words, man? What's the words, E? What's the words, E?
Ain't much going on. Frank just here, man. Just here, waiting to get this show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, every fan out there, man, please subscribe, please comment and like. You know, we're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, so come on, let's go. Support.
Let's get it. So, E, let me just say this, E. We're not going to talk about this for very long because we touched upon this last time, all right? USA squeaked out a gold medal win. You know my feelings. Team overrated. LeBron James is amazing. E, do you think that USA wins the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles with the way the world is so much closer? Do you think the USA is going to beat a Victor Wembanyama-led French team 4 years from now with all of these guys they're drafting? Alex Sarr, right? Second pick in the draft this year. Richard, the other kid, right? Top pick in the draft. First and second, those guys were 1 or 2 in the draft this year. Add Wembanyama, add some of the young, good French players. The Knicks got a French player. Do you think the USA in 2028, right, without LeBron, without all these guys, now you got the ADs of the world, maybe the John Morant of the world leading the team. Do you think they beat the French team in 2028?
Yeah, I think so. I think USA is still ahead. They're still ahead as far as basketball, as far as the talent level. Obviously the world is catching up, but I think we're still ahead. I think that we'll be able to win another gold medal come 2028. I think we're
No
still
LeBron without those guys. So who's leading the team? So who's leading the team?
2028. I mean, ooh, I mean,
Because I got Wembanyama leading the French team with 4 years of NBA, with 5 years at that point of NBA experience.
yeah.
Who's leading the US team?
I mean,
Just so I'm clear.
Ooh, I mean, you still got, you still got players like, wow.
Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards would be one of the guys that would be in the
Devin
team.
Booker?
Devin Booker.
Yo, bro, come on.
Well,
The USA,
so.
I'll put this on the record right now, right? There's a 3% chance that the USA wins the 2028 gold medal in the Olympics, the US basketball team. And the women's team almost lost this time out.
Yeah, 3% chance.
They won by 1 point.
Yeah, 3% chance.
3%, E. No way, bro. E, no way, bro. French team's gonna be too good with Wembanyama's experience, all this influx of French players into the NBA. Too good. Yeah. Wembanyama's gonna be LeBron-esque like, but even better, as LeBron James dominated this Olympics. But even better, next level.
Yeah.
Wemby.
Let me say this. I think we still have enough, on the perimeter. Because where the Europeans and all these teams beat us is in the 4 and the 5 position, where they got skilled big men that can handle the ball, that can shoot the rock. You know what I'm saying? But as far as wing players, I think that we are so far, in as far as basketball wise and talent wise, in the wing position.
So Richard is a wing. He was the first pick in the draft this year, right?
Yeah, but he was young.
And Victor Wembanyama is in essence a wing player too.
Yeah, but Wemby's he's the exception. But the rest of those guys, I think that's where we beat most teams on the wing. We got exceptions.
But let me say this. But teams have drafted a lot of French guards even now. Guards, wings. The French players are the exception. But let's see.
Frank, come on, guards. Come on, guards. Come on.
We ain't got no guards. Jalen Brunson gonna probably be the best guard at that point.
And he's better than any French guard they have. I mean, come on, Frank.
I guess. We'll see in a few years.
Melachino, what was his name?
By the way,
what was his name?
By the way, they have a very good French guard. I think class of 2025, I think it is, best young French guard right now. All the scouts love him. His name eludes me right now, but they say he's the best guard in that class in the world. French guard, 6'3" guard, tough. So let's see. I don't have his name right now, but let's see, E. Let's see where it's at. I'm going to find that guard for you. So, E, me and you I posted this the other day, and, man, I had NFL players hit me up. Shout out. NFL agents hit me up. Boy, oh, boy, push button, hot topic, E. all these NFL players are being crybabies, in my opinion. Not crybabies, that's not the right word to use, right? But these NFL players are upset because they're not getting these contracts that they want. The market resets when a big name player signs, the market resets. And all of these players now, let me give you some examples. Hassan Reddick for the Jets, right? Great sack guy, defensive end, wants a new contract, okay? Matt Judon from the New England Patriots wants a new contract. And these guys are all holding out. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, right? And now Jamar Chase has just entered the fray, all right? And so, this is where I stand. You sign a contract, right? Ultimately, you stay, period. And if I decide to renegotiate, yes. You guys argue if a player outperforms the contract, they should be paid accordingly when they outperform. Cool. If we have that philosophy, okay, the opposite should work too. If they underperform, then they should give money back.
No, you don't get no
If
money.
you're gonna stick me up, if you overperform the agreement, then what do I get for guys that don't perform? So you tell me.
Frank,
You tell me, E.
we ain't giving no money back. Like we had a discussion before. Football, every time you step out on that field, it's like you're playing on a minefield. Any moment, your career could be done. So I'm all for these guys. Go and get that money. Go get that money, young fellas. Go get that money. If you could stick them up, stick them up. That's my philosophy on these young guys going out there and getting that money. Football is a short-lived career. You could get hurt at any moment. And if these guys could go renegotiate their contracts, they outperform their contracts, go get that money. Go get that money.
So I just looked up the kid, the point guard I wanted to tell the fans. Nolan Traore. That's the point guard I told you, high-level point guard in France. But anyway, back to our conversation. Okay. I'm not cool, right? If you say that, right? Cool. If you outperform the contract, you get the money, right? Yes. But if you underperform, you got to give money back. Is all I'm saying. I mean, so what you do is you stick me up. You stick me up if you outperform, but if you underperform, I'm left holding the bag. How's that fair?
Life ain't fair, Frank. And you know these NFL owners.
Oh, life ain't fair. So if life ain't fair, then if you outperform the contract, play the contract. That's life ain't fair too. You can't have it both ways.
Frank.
Yes, Eric.
This been going on for years, Frank. This been going on for years. Guys been holding out, out of training camp, want to gain their money, Frank. Listen, I'm all for these guys, man, especially guys that are out there risking their lives, to put food on the table for their family, man. Like, you got to get the most money you can in the short amount of time that you can. Get your money.
Eric, I don't understand this. You keep on telling me about this risking your lives and all this kind of stuff, right? Occupational hazard. When you decide to play football, you know what you're signing up for, period. And let's be clear. Let's not act like these guys are not making substantial amounts of money compared to the average person in general. They're still being paid at the highest level of any pay scale. Yeah. So let's not over-exaggerate this, we're risking out. Listen, when you sign up to play football, you know what it entails. Yeah. So stop giving me that, every time you got to get all the, stop. And by the way, you're still getting paid at the highest. I mean, the guy at the Jets, I think, wants $24 million. He's making like 14 or something like that. I mean, a year. Let's not act like these guys are not getting paid at a high end, number one. And number two, the argument that people proffer, which is a valid argument, people say, well, the NFL contracts are not guaranteed, so players have to get what they want because at the tail end, because most of these contracts, as you know, they're front-loaded. They're front-loaded contracts, right? All the guaranteed money's in the very, very front of the contract. In the back end of those contracts, a lot of time guys get cut, et cetera, right? Yes. The NFL is the only league, Eric, where contracts are not guaranteed, okay? NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, all these different sports, the contracts are guaranteed, okay? Yes. So people argue, since the football contracts are not guaranteed, they got to get all the money they can get when they can, right? Yes. I don't want to hear that, okay? You collectively bargain every year as an NFL. You collectively not every year, every few years when the collective bargaining agree comes up. You have an NFL player rep, right, that represents you, and the NFL Players Association sits across the table, right, from the commissioner and their lawyers, and they negotiate collectively, okay, what are the work terms, all right, around playing NFL football. And if football players want guaranteed money, then why do they keep signing off, Eric? Why do they keep signing off on the collective bargaining agreement every time it comes up where their money's not guaranteed? Other sports are not going for it. So don't give me the excuse. You guys are signing off on that.
The reason why they're signing off on it, Frank, is because the fact that the owners are holding something against them, right? They're giving you the
Like
signing bonus.
what?
They're giving you the signing bonus. So they're saying we are guaranteeing you the contract when we give you the signing bonus. Now, the tail end of the contract, that's where it gets tricky. But we're giving you this, we're giving you the guaranteed money. We're giving you guaranteed money, right? When it comes to the signing bonus. So most players, and another factor is, right? You say, oh, all these players should come together and we should all fight and have guaranteed contracts, right? But
Yes.
that's probably going to lead up to a strike, right? And some of these guys, right, the lower tier guys cannot afford to have a strike, right? Because a lot of these guys are not making the big money that the top tier guys are making. So that's another factor, right? We always say, yo, we should unite,
Eric,
do this, but
so don't complain then. Revolution, change takes, listen, change, whether it's political, whatever the case may be, takes extreme measures at times. Historically, that's the case. So if you're not willing to make the sacrifice, you understand what I'm saying? Then sit down. Number one. And number two, let me say this, okay? The NFL has all of these high money deals now with TV partners, more than we've ever seen before, right? You just saw the NBA just signed a $77 billion 11-year deal, $76 billion, I think it was, for the rights to broadcast these NBA games, okay?
yes.
Eric, you and I both know if the players decided to strike and say, look, we're not playing until you guarantee our contracts, right? In the next collective bargaining agreement, I guarantee you that the NFL will come to the table and change that. And let me tell you why. Because those big sponsors, whether it be TV sponsors or these corporate sponsors who are putting so much money in the NBA coffers, when those people, right, realize that these players are striking and the product now are going to be these scab players, right? Players that play in all of these other football leagues, the product is not going to be as good. And Patrick Mahomes and all those top players, Lamar Jackson, my guy, my favorite, those guys won't be on the field. Even a bum like your boy Josh Allen, overrated, won't be on the field. I guarantee you, they'll put the pressure on the NFL, those corporate sponsors, those TV people that are giving them billions of dollars per year to make sure they get this settled. So that product will be great for the TV audience and for the people, right, who those sponsors want to reach. I guarantee you, if they decided to band together, right, and make a sacrifice, and by the way, by doing so, it would change the lives of all of them long term, collectively. Long-term money, guaranteed money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At some point, you got to take a stand, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you do, but like I said,
yes, don't complain. Don't complain if you're not willing to take a stand.
Some of these young guys, Frank, some of these young guys are just, just they're just making it by. You know what I'm saying? They're the 52nd player on the roster. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, they can't afford to go on strike. You know what I mean? They got livelihood is at stake. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be difficult. I think NFL and the players' representatives should have more incentive in the contracts where players are now being, paid more through incentives. Where if they do outpay their contract, the contract stays. Or if you make first team or Pro Bowl, you make or first team or defensive team. Here's this bonus, or here's this bonus. So now,
well, Eric, hold on. Every contract has that. So I mean, what do you mean we need to start having that? Every contract has incentives in the NBA and NFL. What are you talking about? That's not a novel idea. Every contract has. If you get a certain amount of sacks, a lot of them. If you get a certain amount, if you make it to the Pro Bowl, every contract has bonuses for that.
They should increase. So what do you mean? I'm saying they should increase it. They should increase the money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but it exists though, right? Whatever you decide. I mean, those. But so bonuses and incentives are different than base salary, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, but every contract has bonuses and incentives in it, though, Eric.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying they should increase the money in these incentives.
Well, I guess. But look, let me say this: all you guys that want to, all you guys that want to talk about the guaranteed contracts and all that kind of stuff, you got to be willing to, right, make a stand. And by the way, I guarantee you they wouldn't be out of work for very long. Because like I said, they wouldn't be out of work. That NFL product is too important. There's too much money at stake. The NFL is not going to let the NFL not have a season for a year, right, to fight with these players over guaranteed contracts that are in every sport. So that's one. So they wouldn't be missing as much time as you think they would be missing. The NFL will come to the table and negotiate because there's too much money on the table. Money on the wood make the game good. There's too much money on the table, E. That's number one. But number two, E, look, I'm for, and by the way, so I have this question. This is the next layer, okay? So if you believe the player should be able to renegotiate, okay, every time the market shifts, that's what you're arguing, right?
Yeah.
So if you are a good wide receiver, okay, Justin Jefferson signs a great contract, the biggest contract in the history of quarterbacks, right? A lot of guaranteed money. I think the contract is $177 million, right, for the duration. I think 100 plus million is guaranteed. Now, in 2 years, E, the market will reset again.
Yeah.
In 2 years, the market will reset. So should Justin Jefferson then every 2 years, right, or top receiver every 2 years be able to stick the team up and say, hey, the market reset, so I need a new contract? Should every 2 years or every year, your quarterback, you just signed a quarterback, every 2 years, should a top quarterback just renegotiate if that's the argument, let's just have 1 year deals.
No, this is one thing, Frank.
1 year deals.
He just signed the deal, right? So now let's say in 2 years the market shifts again, right? Now depending on your play, how you perform, if you still a top tier wide receiver, if you in that top tier, you should negotiate your contract. If you're in that top tier.
So every year when the markets change, you should renegotiate your contract. Eric, that makes no sense.
Now, if you're not a top tier wide receiver,
but if you are, so Tom, if you're a top tier receiver, every year we should renegotiate your contract.
Not every year, Frank. I'm saying every 2 or 3 years, right?
So let's just do 1 year deals then. So I got to guarantee you multiple years. I got to give you all this signing bonus, but then every year I got to give you every 2 years I got to give you a new deal. That don't make sense, bro.
Well, I mean,
yo, come on, dogs.
Listen,
tripping, dogs.
Listen, Frank. 2 years from now, we don't know how Justin Jefferson is. We don't know if he's going to be an elite wide receiver. There's going to be other guys that's going to move, that's going to shift, right? That's going to move the meter. Other wide receivers, young wide receivers, that's going to move, right? So those guys
maybe not. So, but he still might be the best. So Tyreek Hill right now should get a new deal.
I mean, he's good where he's at. He got his money. He
didn't get right, but hold on. But the market shifted now, and he's definitely better than Justin Jefferson. You could argue.
Yeah, I mean.
So he just got a new deal. So that's what I'm saying. Now you got to pay him again. You can't run a real organization that way, Eric. You can't. You don't even know what's in the salary cap because every year you got to put new money. What you're giving salary wise? Because every year you got to pay your quarterback more money if he's elite. And by the way, the irony of it is some of the greatest players of all time are smart enough to realize you got to be able to pay the whole team. Tom Brady was never the highest paid player in the NFL. Michael Jordan was never the highest paid player in the NBA. Two different sports, but I'm just giving you an example. The guys that want to win realize, by the way, Patrick Mahomes is not the highest paid player per year in the NFL. So that's the argument. Patrick Mahomes every year should get a new deal.
I mean, what he signed for?
Stop, E.
Listen,
what
he sign for? He's making great money. There's no need for him to re-sign. I mean, certain guys feel like, okay, I got.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean? On your model, anybody who outplays their contract should get a new deal. Now you saying Patrick Mahomes should. So why is Patrick Mahomes then in your model exempt from getting his money? He the best. So every time the market shifts, he should get a new deal.
But Frank, he's a standard. He's a standard. Right now, who else? What other quarterback is making just the same amount of money or more than him?
Eric, I think your boy's making more than him. The quarterback from the Jaguars.
Huh? Trevor Lawrence
is making more per year than Patrick Mahomes, I believe.
Okay, well.
I think. Let's see.
I don't think he's making per year. I don't think he's making But even if he is making per year, I mean, listen, man, get your money, man. NFL get players. I'm with y'all. Get y'all money. Get y'all money.
And by the way, Eric, I'm pro the players, but owners. So look at this. Look at this. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow are tied for the title of highest paid quarterbacks. Those are the three at the top. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow.
Per
They
year.
all make more than Patrick Mahomes
Okay.
per year. So, bruh, if you're making that argument, right? I don't understand you making an argument. Those guys make more, right? Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and then Tua is 4. Jared Goff is 5. Herbert is 6. I mean, come on, bro.
This is per
Patrick
year.
Mahomes.
This is per year, right?
Patrick Mahomes is tied for 11th, just for the record.
This is per
Right.
year.
Just so you know, Patrick Mahomes is making less than Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. All these guys are ahead of him, bro. He's making, if this is right, $45 million a year, right? These other guys are making $55 million a year. So, bro, if that's the argument, every year we got to give him a new deal. Exactly. That's my point.
55.
But Patrick Mahomes said himself, I'm not underpaid. He's happy. He's making a whole bunch of money, and he's trying to win championships. Yeah. Now, all those teams that's overpaying their quarterbacks, right, they can't pay other players now. Is that fair?
Yeah. They got to go
Come
out.
on. And this is the last dynamic, okay? And then let's move on, all right? How do you feel like teammates should feel when you want all the money?
You're right. I mean,
you want all the money. By the way, if I'm an offensive lineman, right, I'm blocking for you. If I'm your running back or your quarterback, how do you feel, Eric, when the guy want all the money? All the money. Give me my money. We can't build a team now. You can't build a team around a guy that's taking all the money, and we know that.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Eric, the teams that we mentioned, they're not winning. Right? Joe Burrows, no ring. Trevor Lawrence, no ring. Jordan Love, no ring. Tua, no ring. Jared Goff, no ring. Justin Herbert, no ring. Lamar Jackson, who I love, no ring. Jalen Hurts, no ring. Kyler Murray, no ring. Those are the top. Deshaun Watson, those are the top 10 guys.
So you're saying take less money, build a team and win championships, and then make more money on the back end. That's what you're saying.
And not make more money just on the back end. You make more money on the front end, on every end. Because if you're making more money, if you're winning championships and Super Bowls, you get more endorsement deals, you get more local brand deals, and also the organization takes care of their winners forever.
Okay.
So anyway, E, so Eric, as a teammate, what do you feel like when your quarterback wants to take up all the money, a quarter of the salary cap, and they arguing for that? What do you feel like if your wide receiver don't come to training camp because they want to be the number one paid player in the NFL, and you all trying to win a championship? What do you feel like, Eric, if you're a guy on that offensive line making a good salary, right, but you blocking, or you just play, right? Like, what do you feel like, Eric, when the guy's holding out, right, which some people could perceive as for selfish reasons?
Yeah, for that reason, if we all here, we're trying to win a championship, and you holding out because selfish reasons, and you want to get paid. I'm all for the teammate and all those guys being a little bit upset because we're all here, during OTAs, we here for training camp, what I'm saying, and we're trying to build a team to win a championship, and you a key component, and now because you feel like you want your money, I think it's a little selfish on the player that he feels like he should get his money.
Yeah, you contradicting yourself.
No,
First, your argument was get your money. Now you're calling a man selfish.
No.
Get your money, but you're selfish now.
No. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to building a team, Frank, you don't be listening. When it comes to building a team, Frank,
okay,
guys feel a certain way because we're trying to win a championship. We're all in together trying to win a championship. I understand how they feel. I understand how the players feel about that. When you got guys that are holding out, and I understand it, especially if you're a key component to that team trying to win a championship. I understand how they feel. Now, I'm still saying get your money, but I understand how the players feel. That's what I'm saying. Frank.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't care about your teammates, right? You said get your money no matter how your teammates feel.
I'm saying get your money, man. Get your money, man. Listen.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen,
and by the way, By the way, collusion is illegal, right? They tell you that teams can't collude, right? That's in most collective, not illegal per se, but it's against, and it may be, well, it's against most collective bargaining agreements, right? Teams can't collude. Teams are going to collude, Eric, I guarantee you, and they're going to come up with some edict internally where they are going to, right? Stop this. Because you can't have your best players holding you up right before the season's about to start, like Jamar Chase, like these guys are doing. Like, I don't want to just single out Chase, but all these guys are holding these teams up. And by the way, I think a lot of this too, in the players' defense, is last ditch efforts, right? They've been negotiating and saying we're gonna give you a deal, negotiating, and then now the players' last line of defense is to hold out.
So
Right,
Frank,
that's the other side.
I
Right,
got
like Brandon Ayuk, who I think is overrated, Eric, right, is looking at all of his compadres for the 49ers getting paid, but not him, right? Kittle got paid, McCaffrey got paid, Debo Samuels got paid, and so he's looking around saying, "You paying all those guys," and he's not as integral a piece as they are, in my opinion. But he's saying, "I want to get paid too."
So let me ask you this, Frank. Let me ask you this. This is very interesting.
Yep.
Before we shift, Lamar
Yep.
Jackson, he bet on
Yep.
himself last year. He bet on himself last year. Went out there and played, right? Remember, because he was trying to figure out where he should hold out. He get his money this time. He went out there and bet on himself, and he played to a high standard. So right. So when it's time to negotiate, the owner should feel like, okay, this guy played. Now we should pay him, right? That's how it goes, right?
Eric, if I'm an owner, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I hate to say this, right? And I think some of it is racially motivated for owners, but I think it's case by case. But I'm never letting a player sit out and not even come to camp and let's talk. And by the way, let me say this: I do believe that it's the last resort when players decide to sit out. I do believe that, Eric. But it's hard for me because I think you create the wrong standard. I don't think, as fair as the Rooneys are with the Steelers,
Yeah.
right? I don't believe that they do it like that. Le'Veon Bell was a good example. He left. And by the way, players that have sat out for a year in contract disputes, Eric, have never, like Le'Veon Bell was never the same player after he sat out for a year, went to the Jets, and was never the same player, right? And half of the time, right, this is why if I was an owner, I would hold out. The money you lose in that full season, right, you end up now making less even if you got the bigger contract because you lost the whole season of money. Like if the guy from the Jets doesn't play this year, he loses $14, $15 million, $16 million by sitting. So at some point, the teams are going to collude and say, we're not going to pay him, don't pay him, and we're going to do the same thing when guys hold you up. You don't pay him and we don't pay him. What's the players going to do then?
So you all in favor of what Lamar Jackson did, right? He played.
I don't think Lamar Jackson played. I think we got to look at that. I think Lamar Jackson, remember, he asked for a trade even. And then they ended up giving him his money, I think, before the season. I don't think Lamar Jackson played with no contract. I don't think he did.
But that was a big thing where he was saying that he's risking, he was out there risking everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he wasn't a free agent, though. That's different. I don't think he played, right? I don't believe that. But I think Lamar Jackson got his money. But all I'm saying is this: guys deserve to get paid. I'm not against that. But it's hard for me to let guys hope because once you create that standard, right? That's why the Cowboys have this issue. Because Jerry Jones always capitulates, right? Ezekiel Elliott, Zach Martin, historically, every time a guy holds out, right, he pays him.
You gotta pay him.
Tyron Smith, all of these guys, when they hold out. So Dak Prescott knows he's going to pay. Lamb knows he's going to pay. And Micah Parsons knows he's going to pay. So for all the blustering and posturing, because Jerry Jones is 81 years old, right?
Yes.
And realistically, he can't run this franchise for more than probably the next 2 or 3 years. He's 81.
Yes.
He can still own it. But at 85, 84, you kind of recede back to a more relaxed life. So that means he understands he got a small window. That's why he's not getting a new coach, because McCarthy's probably not good enough, you would argue. Dak is probably not good enough, okay? But they don't have time to press the reset button for Jerry Jones because he's trying to get one more ring before his swan song, before he leaves.
Yes.
Right? And cedes control. So he's going to have to play Lamb. Because without Lamb, and I'm a Cowboy fan. We ain't winning the Super Bowl, and I don't even like Jerry Jones. You know how I feel about him, right?
Wait a minute.
You know what I mean? I think he's a big racist, in my opinion. And that's my opinion,
Wait.
right?
So
That's my opinion. You know how I feel about him. I think there's some racial element in my opinion with Jones, right? That's my opinion. No, you can't say it's factual. It's my opinion. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
But he got to pay Lamb.
So you're saying pay him, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl anyway. That's what you're
No,
saying.
I didn't say that. I'm saying, I don't think the Cowboys, my team.
You just said pay him. They're going to pay him anyway, but we're not going to win a Super Bowl because we don't have the pieces. We don't have the dogs.
Well, I don't think I said that, but I do believe that I don't think the Cowboys. But I think the only chance that the Cowboys will potentially have, they need Lamb, right? But I don't think with Lamb now the Cowboys are better than the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I think there are too many other teams in the NFL that are still ahead of the Cowboys, even with the same team coming back. Right? Are the Cowboys a better team than the Philadelphia Eagles with all those guys back? Probably not. Are they better than the Buffalo Bills? Are they better? I mean, there's so many teams in the NFL that you would probably put ahead of the Cowboys. Are they better than Cincinnati? Are they even better than the Steelers now with a new quarterback?
No, and I'm not a Cowboy fan. Only team in front of the Cowboys right now is the 49ers. It's the 49ers. Obviously, and on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs. You got those teams. You got them. You got you got the Bengals. If Burrows is healthy, you got Josh Allen. If they could put it together, those are the only top teams that I see better than the Cowboys right now.
So Philadelphia's not better than the Cowboys?
No, I don't think Philadelphia better. That run to Super Bowl. That was
Well, the Cowboys ain't even got out won a playoff game in years. So when you say the Cowboys are good, I love the Cowboys. Let's not. But on what metric are they good in your opinion? Like they haven't even won a playoff game in years.
They got to get over that hump. They got.
Are they better than Green Bay?
Great offensive line.
So let me ask you a question.
Defense.
I'm gonna name two teams. I'm gonna name two teams.
Go ahead.
You said the only team is better than San Francisco. I'm gonna name two teams. Okay, are they better than the Detroit Lions? That's the NFC team.
Yeah, they better than Detroit. The Detroit Lions.
How?
Hold on. Detroit had one. They had a good year, Frank. They had a good year.
The Cowboys have never had a good year in the playoffs.
Let's say they could keep building on that. Detroit is up and coming. They're up and coming team. Now the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I think the Cowboys, the 49ers, obviously is the team to beat in the NFC.
Right? We're talking about how's Detroit up and coming, and they've done better than the Cowboys the last 2 years, and the Cowboys are established.
How, Frank? They just won. They just won a playoff game this past year. The year after, before that, they didn't make the playoff. This year, last year, the year they had a good run.
Eric, when's the last time the Cowboys won a playoff game?
Listen, Frank. On paper, I still believe the Cowboys are the second best team. And I'm not
Eric, but we can't go on paper. We got to go on the results, right? Yeah. The Green Bay Packers. Are the Green Bay Packers better than the Cowboys?
No, I don't think the Green Bay Packers are better than the Cowboys.
Bro, you tripping. I'm a Cowboy fan. You know that, right? By the way, if you go on paper, the Philadelphia Eagles, if you go on paper, are definitely better than the Cowboys on paper.
And Frank, last year they lost their top cornerback. Diggs was out the whole entire year. He's back healthy. That elevates their defense. Come on.
That's the NFL. Everybody loses players, right? That's the NFL.
Well, listen, I'm not a Cowboy fan.
Eric, hold on. Eric, on paper, who's better? On paper, who's better, the Eagles or the Cowboys on paper?
On paper? I'm still going with the Cowboys.
How? Eric, how?
Listen, offensive line is great. Offensive line is one of the top offensive line in the NFL. Right?
Not anymore. No, it's not. Tyron Smith is no longer there. No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not.
That's one. Then you got your defense led by Michael Parsons. That's still stellar.
The Eagles defense is definitely better than the Cowboys defense on paper.
Right. And then you got CeeDee Lamb. You got some good running backs. I mean, listen.
They got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as their wide receivers. Two elite wide receivers. You tripping on paper.
Brown is good. I like Brown.
I love the Cowboys.
I like Brown, but I don't know about Devontae Smith. He's a little skinny little dude running around. I mean, he's good.
He's a very good player.
He is.
1,000-yard receiver easily.
He's good. I'm not gonna say he's not good. He's good.
Come on, bro. On paper, the Eagles are better than the Cowboys on paper, for clarity. So you got the 49ers are definitely significantly ahead of the Cowboys.
You're supposed to be defending your team. I'm here defending your team.
Nah, but I always tell you, I'm not a delusional Cowboy fan, right? I love the Cowboys and I want to
You're
win,
delusional.
but I'm not delusional.
You're
The
delusional.
Eagles are better on paper. The 49ers are better on paper and principle. The Lions are better on paper and principle. And you can argue that the Packers could be better. And by the way, let's not even include teams in the AFC, right? Because the AFC murderers row. The Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs. I mean, murderers row, Eric.
Yeah, AFC. Obviously, the AFC got some good teams.
Cincinnati. I mean, murderers row.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the AFC, but I still think the Cowboys, they're in the top tier teams in NFC. And I got 49ers.
When you say, just to be clear, when you say top tier, the top tier teams are 49ers and everybody else is below them.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
maybe in the second tier.
49ers, then I got the Cowboys, then Philadelphia, then maybe Detroit, then Green Bay.
What I can't understand is how can you have the Cowboys ahead of Detroit? I don't understand that. I just don't. Right. I just don't. But okay.
Didn't the Cowboys beat them last year head to head?
I think we lost in overtime, didn't we?
No, the Cowboys won head to head. Remember, the guy went for it 3 straight times and didn't get it.
Right. Yeah. I think you might be right there.
Come on.
Nah, I think they won in overtime, right?
No, they lost, Frank. Detroit lost. Remember, it was a big thing about the coach going for it 3 straight times.
Right. I think you're right, E. Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah, Cowboys won 2019.
Yeah.
Eric, let me be clear. I don't think. Look, Jerry Jones is going to re-sign these guys. Lamb is a good player. I think Lamb is not as elite as he played last year, but I think he's a really good receiver. Okay, I definitely don't think Dak Prescott is even a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Man.
All right, you ain't winning with Dak Prescott, bro. I'm sorry, you just ain't winning with Dak Prescott.
Is he a Tony Romo?
Similar, good stats, but can't win.
Oh man, poor Tony Romo.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Let's pull it up, E. E, let's pull it up, E. Let me ask you a question.
Poor Tony
right?
Romo.
So Dak Prescott is about to be one of these guys getting a lot of money. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this question. Okay. We look at the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay.
Yes.
We can make a list, right? Josh Allen is ahead of him. I hate to say it, that's your boy. Is that fair?
Josh Allen ahead of. Yeah, you can say
Dak
that.
Prescott.
You can say that.
Okay. Lamar Jackson for sure.
Yes, Lamar Jackson for sure.
Patrick Mahomes for sure.
Yes.
That's 3, right? Joe Burrow for sure.
Yes, we can say that.
That's 4, okay? And these are the for sure guys, right? That's 4. Aaron Rodgers for sure.
Aaron Rodgers.
Eric, come on, Eric. Eric, come on. Let's not do that.
No, I'll give you Aaron Rodgers. I'll give you Aaron Rodgers.
5 for sure, right, E? Now, these are the questionable ones. Is Jalen Hurts better?
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
That's questionable. I don't think he's better. But go ahead.
Okay. Is Justin Herbert better?
He's in that same realm as Prescott. Great stats, but they can't put it together when the playoff time comes. I mean, great stats.
They only have one playoff game, and Justin Herbert is young. But okay. Right? But Justin Herbert, you don't think he's better than Dak?
No, I don't think Justin Herbert.
Okay, is Tua better?
Hell no.
Tua's not better than Dak?
No.
Is Matthew Stafford better?
Hell no.
I don't understand. Your Matthew Stafford and by the way, his wife.
No, he's not.
His wife. The fact that he let his wife say what she said about him, right? He will always be, right? I can have no respect for him ever again, just for the record. Yeah. After that. That said, how is Stafford not better, bro? Dak Prescott, I think, has won one playoff game in his whole career.
Come on, Frank. He's not better. CJ Stroud, maybe CJ Stroud you could put up there.
I haven't even gotten to him yet. So if Stroud's better, you at 7 right now.
You got CJ.
Right? Is Jordan Love better?
No, man, this guy's no, Frank. Those guys, no. They still have to prove themselves year in, year out. Those guys are not better than Dak. No.
What has Dak proven year in and year out?
I mean, listen, he was in contention for player of the offensive player of the year. With the way he puts up numbers.
Eric, you play what the Hermit would say. You play the game to win. Dak Prescott has one, I believe, playoff victory in his entire career. Matthew Stafford led his team to a Super Bowl. You play the
Yeah,
game.
with the team he had,
What do
with
you
the
mean?
team he had, anybody could have won a Super
Jalen
Bowl.
Hurts Jalen Hurts led his team to a Super Bowl. You play the game to win. Jalen Hurts led so the point I'm making to you is it's debatable if Dak Prescott, because let me ask you a question. How do you put CD Stroud ahead of him? That's not right.
All right, so hold on. So right now, I just looked it up.
But hold on, Eric, hold on. How do you put Stroud ahead of him? Stroud has accomplished nothing.
MVP though, MVP caliber player last year. MVP.
He's
No, listen.
accomplished nothing.
Okay, hold on. Right now, I'm looking it up, Frank. They got Dak Prescott number 6. They got CJ Stroud number 7 on the list.
Yo, Eric, just for who's they?
I'm looking it up. Some.
Bruh, you can find a website that says anything. Let's not do that. They don't act like that website is the authority on ranking
I just looked
quarterbacks.
it up, and they got Justin Herbert.
What do you mean? You Googled it.
They got Justin Herbert 5.
You Googled it.
Yeah, I Googled it. I'm okay.
Right. So don't act like that's the authority. We're talking about you and I know football. I don't need some oblivious
Right,
website.
So you up to 6 quarterbacks that are better.
Seven. Let me tell you who I think is better than Dak Prescott. Let me tell you who I think is better. Josh Allen is better. Lamar Jackson is better.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, that's 3.
Those guys, yeah, I got those guys.
Hold on. Jalen Hurts, 4. Joe Burrow's 5. Matthew Stafford, 6. Aaron Rodgers, 7. CJ Stroud, 8. Jordan Love, 9. Brock Purdy, 10. And by the way, let me say this. I may even take Jared Goff ahead of him.
I like Jared Goff.
I do too.
I like Jared Goff. But
right? I mean, my point is, Dak. Maybe he's 10. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Like maybe I don't put Love ahead of him yet. Maybe. But by the way, I could also argue clearly that Stafford is better. So my point is,
I'm not going with Stafford. No way.
Eric, so let me say this. Stafford had great stats when he was with the Lions and they sucked, right? He had great, and then he came to the Rams and he won a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott has never delivered that. Never. And by the way, just to be clear, Dak Prescott has never delivered even close to that. Dak Prescott has never been to a conference, has never been to a conference championship, let alone get to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott, I believe, has one win in the postseason. He's one and done every year. And by the way, the last loss when we lost to San Francisco, he choked. He threw how many interceptions? So when we rank these guys, we gotta like. And by the way, Dak's about to get paid.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. Get your money. Get your money, Dak. Get your money. Get your money.
So you got Dak Prescott that's running your quarterback, and he's not elite. He's not, right? He's not an elite guy. There's too many guys better than him, Eric. So you're not winning with that guy as your quarterback. And he showed you he's not a big. Some guys, Eric, are not as talented or whatever. But it was let me say this. Tom Brady is the aberration. If you look historically in the NFL, you do find players in later rounds, but from the quarterback position, most of the elite quarterbacks were high picks. Joe Montana, wasn't he a high pick?
I believe so. I believe Joe Montana was.
I think I'm Notre Dame, but historically, right? Elway, elite high pick. Peyton Manning, elite high pick. We know the story about the great. I don't want to call him the great, but Tom Brady is the aberration, right? But for the most part, Eric, elite quarterbacks are high picks. Okay, it's a reason why Dak Prescott got picked in the 4th round.
Yeah, I mean,
he ain't winning you no Super Bowl.
Frank, listen, man.
Let me stop talking about my team, bro. Because I'm sorry, because I'm talking about my team. I'm a Cowboy fan,
You're a
right?
Cowboy fan, Frank.
I'm just ranting.
I'm defending the Cowboys like I'm a Cowboy fan. You know how I feel about the Cowboys. I'm just saying.
But you know why, Eric? It's an optical illusion, right? They got all these shiny objects in front of your face. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They got all these optical illusion, all these players in front of your face that you think are good. They brought Ezekiel Elliott back, right? You got Micah Park, all these names, right? Because you're the Cowboys, Eric. And every year they make us think, oh, we got it. This is the year. And then Eric, what happens? It's optical illusion. Shiny objects are tricking you. The hands are over there doing the real magic.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm not like I said before. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but listen. I'm with y'all, man. I'm with y'all, and I suffer just as much as y'all suffer when they don't win. The America's team, man. When America's team, they have to do it. They have to make that illusion to make it seem like that. The America's team, that's what they got the star. That's what they got the star in their helmet, right? Come on,
And
right?
yeah, and look at it. Tony Romo, all his money as a commentator. Troy Aikman, all his money. Right, these guys, listen, that's part of being a part of the Cowboy organization, right? By the way, also, first $10 billion franchise, E,
You go,
right?
Jerry
The
Jones has
first
done a great
$10
job. You
billion
don't like him.
franchise
He's done a
in
great
American
job, Jerry
sports.
Jones. You don't like him. You think
Marketing wise, marketing wise, very good.
he's a genius.
America's team.
America's team. You
But
don't like
but
him.
but, but look,
He say
but
he's racist.
let me say this. I want to be clear. That's my opinion about the man. All right. You know about the Arkansas, right? Right when
Hey, we go
right,
back
he
to
was
that.
right.
Everybody
He
was
was
us back to that picture. Everybody was us back to that picture. Come
yeah, he was
on,
on the
man.
front line in Arkansas. But not just that, right? Some of the comments in the past, some of the issues with Colin Kaepernick, some questionable stuff.
So what about hold on. So what about the
Questionable
Texas
stuff.
owner? What about the Texas owner saying we can't let what do you say? We can't let the inmates run
I
the
think the inmates run to jail or something like that.
run the asylum. We can't let them. Come on,
I
it don't
think it
get
was
no more
McNair who
racist than
said that.
that, Frank. It don't
I
get
agree
more
with you.
racist than that. Come on.
Yeah, him and Jones, boy, two good old boys. Good old Texas boys.
Come on, Frank. Listen, man. The man is 81
You know
years
what I'm saying? But by the way, I will say this about Jones. You can also argue that he's helped a good amount of black people, right? Black players, etc. But you see, Eric, let's call it a spade, right? They let Michael Irvin crack it all the way out. But let me ask you this question, E, right?
old.
Let me ask you this question. When you look on TV, Eric, Michael Irvin, they throw him a bone, but who are the guys that were Dallas Cowboy guys that are the most high profile, right? Romo, okay,
Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman, okay,
Tight
and
end.
also
What's a tight end? What's a tight
yeah,
end name?
Witten,
Witten.
Jason Witten,
Jesse Witten. Yeah.
and also Eric Witten, and also I forgot the uh the
The fullback.
fullback, the
Doug,
fullback.
Doug Johnson. What's his name? Johnson.
No, that's not his name, John. Yeah, his name is Dow Johnston.
Darryl Johnson. Yeah.
Dow Johnson, I
Darryl
think.
Johnson. Yeah.
All those guys are on the top TV shows, correct?
Yes.
I asked you how many members of the Cowboys, black members of the Cowboys, get those opportunities. You got me going to a different topic now, E. I'm listening, E.
Oh man, Mike Irvin, he was on there for a little bit. Mike Irvin was on there for a little bit. He was on there. He was on TV for a little bit.
E, you and I both know, right? But anyway, listen, I want to get too deep into that. But Jerry Jones, and by the way, they keep tricking us. Let me tell you why they keep tricking us, see? Because they keep making us think we're going to win. The Cowboys need to reset. They need to get a new quarterback. They need to get a new coach, and they need to reset, right? And it may take a few years to rebuild. Look at the Lions. Look at these organizations. It may take a few years to rebuild, but you got to press the restart button at times. Look at a team like the Green Bay Packers, right? And they always get it right with their quarterback, see? Right? You went from Favre to Aaron Rodgers, now to Jordan Love.
Frank,
Wow.
They're not gonna hit the reset button. Jerry Jones is trying to win right now. He's trying to go out.
You're right.
He's trying to win right now. He got a couple years left. Why not try to win now and then just for the rest of his duration, just sit back and enjoy the ride. Like what I mean? Like that's what he should do. I mean, he's trying to win right now. So listen, I'm saying go for it. Go for it, Jerry Jones.
So, yeah, I got a question for you.
Yes.
All right. One question about this as we're talking football right now. Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, well, Super Bowl. Wow, that's a good question. Good question. Good question. Finally, the 49ers are going to get over the hump. I got the 49ers.
You out of your mind.
I got the 49ers. I got the 49ers winning it, Frank.
So let me say this. I got two
they got
teams
all the
winning.
talent, Frank. They got the best talent.
I ain't betting against Mahomes still. I got Mahomes winning again. Period.
Wow.
I ain't but let me tell you who my dark horse is.
Who your dark horse?
The Ravens. The Ravens. The Ravens. And the only reason why I don't have them ahead of Mahomes is because Mahomes is Mahomes. Let me tell you why I don't have them ahead of Mahomes. Because Mahomes is Mahomes, right? Number one. But let me tell you why I don't have them ahead of Mahomes. Because my guy, I love Lamar Jackson. He's my favorite player. And he's been, and now 2 MVPs now, by the way. Right? 2 MVPs. Let's call a spade a spade. But let me just say this. He gets hurt a lot. And because of that, he misses games and he slimmed down even more coming into training camp this year. So my only concern is him being injured. But Eric, Frank, I got this question.
I thought you was gonna say Burrow. I thought you was gonna say Cincinnati. You said that.
Man, nobody care about Joe Burrow. Overrated, man. Get out of here. Bro, let me ask you a question. Okay. Let me ask you a question, Eric. Who's the best football player in the NFL?
Obviously, Patrick Mahomes.
Is he a better player than Lamar Jackson?
He's the best player in the NFL, Frank.
He's better than Lamar Jackson.
The best player in the NFL, Frank.
Okay.
What you getting at?
So you say he's better. So I remember years ago when I said I thought Lamar Jackson was great, right? And you thought he wasn't. Oh, he can't play. By the way, 2 MVPs later, he's the best player in the NFL, in my opinion. Best player. Now, Mahomes got the best system, the best team, the best coach, all that. And by the way, Mahomes got the great Andy Reid, the best offensive mind, one of the best offensive minds ever, right? While my guys with Harborough and cycling out offensive coordinators. Let me say this.
The best player in the NFL.
Mahomes is amazing. The best player in the NFL, the best player in the NFL is Lamar Jackson. Period.
Frank, you bumped your head or something? Come on, Frank. You just said you're not betting against Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs teams, and now you're saying the best player is Lamar Jackson?
There were years where the best player in the NBA was LeBron James, but I didn't think he was going to win the ring. Right. Those two things don't have to correlate. I think somebody can be a clutch guy with the right team and the right system and the right program. Doesn't mean you're the best player.
Right, listen.
LeBron James many years was not the best player in the NBA, Eric. And was the best player in the NBA, but I didn't think he would win the championship.
Frank, listen, they made it to the AFC Conference Finals game last year. And then they want to switch it up. They want to switch their offense to make Lamar Jackson a thrower. I always told you he's a runner. You run the ball, that's what got you there. Now all of a sudden you get to the conference championship game and you want a whole new game plan. Now you want Lamar Jackson throwing the ball. Come on, Frank. That's what cost
2 MVPs
last year, Frank.
2 MVPs. And by the way, they just added Derrick Henry. Think about that.
Yeah, great addition.
That's why they're going to win. That's why they're going to lose in the conference championship. That's why they're my dark horse. It's hard for me to bet against Mahomes to win a championship, but the Ravens with that addition, with Lamar Jackson being healthy. Let me say this. I will say this. Lamar Jackson is never healthy for the season. If Lamar Jackson, I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah,
if Lamar Jackson is healthy, if Lamar Jackson is healthy this year, okay, plays all the games this season, the Ravens win a Super Bowl. The Ravens win a Super Bowl. The Ravens win. I'm willing to stand. I'm willing to go out there and say it.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson plays every game this year, healthy. The Ravens win the Super Bowl.
My dark horse is Cincinnati. My dark horse. Burrows comes back healthy. That's my dark horse. With all them weapons,
go back to sleep.
With all those weapons on the outside, Joe Burrows being the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, I'm going. That's my dark horse. Obviously,
Eric, the problem you got though, they're too disgruntled. Joe took all the money. Chase is holding out now, and the other wide receiver wanted to be traded, right? Because they said they're not going to pay him. So just play your contract out and you out. They're disgruntled. They ain't on the same accord. They ain't winning nothing. Right. And they all looking at Joe Burrow like, yo, you took all the money. Mahomes wouldn't even do that.
Frank, listen.
They don't want to play with Joe Burrow no more. He got his money.
That's my dark horse. Obviously, the 49ers is the cream of the crop with those guys, with that arsenal of players on the offensive end. It's hard to beat those guys.
So is your dark horse the 49ers or the Cincinnati Bengals? Which one is it, bro?
No. My team to win it all is the 49ers. My dark horse.
Oh, right. You did say that. You said that.
My dark horse is the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, I'm still pulling for the Buffalo Bills, my man Josh Allen. But I'm going Cincinnati, my dark horse. 49ers to win it all. That's what I'm going with.
So let's end here, but let me say this, all right? As great as the 49ers are in terms of weapons, right, which you can't deny, okay? Purdy is still a guy that we don't know if he can win a Super Bowl, but this is what we do know. Shanahan, as a coach, is a choker. We all know that. Shanahan, as a coach, is a choker. His teams are not prepared. And ever since, it's like your boy, I'm gonna throw a zinger at you right now. When your boy Chris Webber called that timeout for Michigan, he was never the same player when he got to the NBA. Right?
That killed
he became a choker. Great player, Hall of Fame player, but he was never gonna win a ring as a lead guy because that completely. And so the same thing with Shanahan. Against Tom Brady when he was the offensive coordinator for Atlanta. Yeah. Right? Called all that garbage in the second half. Brady and them come back. They was killing Brady and them by how many points, right?
Yeah.
Brady and them come back in that Super Bowl and win, right? Shanahan, still great offensive mind, still great coach, but he chokes and his teams choke every time they get to the big game. Is that fair?
That's fair, Frank. He hasn't won it. He hasn't won the big game yet.
And they choke.
But
they choke.
But listen, he got to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo, whatever his name is, with GQ, whatever his name, Garoppolo, his name?
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Yeah, he got to the Bowl with them. You know what I'm saying? Obviously lost that one. Atlanta, right? The 49ers, you know what I mean? It's sometimes you got to go through these, these heartbreaks to get over the hump. I think he finally gets over the hump. The 49ers win it all.
Let me tell you why the 49ers can't win. Let me tell you why they can't win. The coach is a choker, number one. The quarterback, who don't know, but McCaffrey's always hurt though, right? McCaffrey's not going to be healthy all year. McCaffrey's hurt all the time, right? He told you his father was giving him all kind of injections and all kind of crazy shit when he was a high school kid, right? Remember before the games, he said his father was making him eat certain foods and taking IVs and drip and all that. McCaffrey always hurt, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so McCaffrey's a guy Eric, he's always hurt.
I get that, but this is where you play the long.
We'll
game.
see.
You play the long game with these guys. You give them. You don't give them as many touches through the season. That's why I told you last time. A guy like that, you don't give him as many touches early on. You don't give him as many touches.
Well, you ain't gonna win if you don't give him touches. He's your best player.
You reduce
your best player. You not give touches to.
You reduce his load. You got other players that are very skillful players. You get them, the guys, get them the ball. A guy like that, you reduce his load, and then hopefully by week 16, week 17, entering the playoff, now he's fresh, got fresh legs, and now he's ready to go.
You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win if you reduce.
Shanahan, I'll let you know how to manage this, man.
You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win if you save McCaffrey to game 16. You're gonna lose.
No, listen, here you go. I said you manage his load of touches, Frank. Obviously,
you ain't gonna win.
Yeah,
you're not gonna win. Is the point? No, you're not.
If we look at their schedule,
he's your best player. Eric, what team, right, limits their best player in terms of touches? Historically, what are you talking about? Frank, that never happens.
A player like that.
You sleeping right now?
No, Frank. A player like that. You know what I'm saying? His reps, his touches, you limit it. I'm not saying completely shut him. You limit it. You know what I'm saying? You get other people involved.
Like when? So give me an example in the history of the NFL where the best players, with Jerry Rice, his touches got limited. Or your quarterback didn't touch his. Give me a time in the history of the NFL where an elite quarterback with Emmitt Smith's touches got limited.
Frank, listen.
When they was winning Super Bowls. Listen, I'm listening.
When you got a guy like that who's so versatile.
So give me an example. I'm asking you, like when?
Coming out the
when?
Right, catching, receiving, and running. You gotta reduce his load. I'm not saying, but you gotta reduce his load, Frank, early on. Shanahan, call me,
Eric.
Man. Shanahan, call me. Got you.
Eric, I ask you on this note, like when? Give me an example of a time when a player that was your best player, right, got limited touches to save them for later in the year? Just tell me when.
Frank, I can't pull that up right now. I can't look at the stats.
Because nobody does that. That's never been done.
We're gonna ask the fans. We're gonna ask the fans to comment on this particular segment of the show. Please comment if you agree with me on whether you limit it, where you reduce McCarthy's load, or you just play him and let him touch the ball how many times in the game. Please.
Well, hold on. So let me say you agree with Eric. You said reduce his load. So let me say what I'm saying. Or do you agree with me that says he's your best playmaker and your best player on the field? Okay. And historically and always, the best player, you try to get the ball in his hands, okay, as much as possible. Okay? That's like Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. You're not telling the team, oh, she might get worn out, so let's not put the ball in her hands. The best players have the ball in their hands, no matter what the sport is.
Of winning a Super Bowl, Frank. I'm not talking about Caitlin Clark. They suck.
But Eric, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win the games if he's not touching the ball during the regular season. You're not going to win.
Frank, you can win.
He's the best player on the field.
You got enough weapons to win games.
No, you don't.
Frank,
no, you don't.
You got Debo. You got Kittle. You got
Eric. Debo's a guy that touches the ball 4 times a game, 5 times a game where it matters. McCaffrey's getting 20, 25 touches, Eric. Kittle's going to get his touches. I agree with you, right? And they're going to get their touches already. Debo's a guy that's getting the ball 5 times. This guy's getting 20, 25 touches easily. Throwing in.
We had this conversation.
Let's ask the fans. We can go back and forth, right?
Please,
you're not going to win without McCaffrey touching the football. You're not. So, all right, E, listen. Yo, E, by the way,
yes,
I got it. So we let the fans comment on that and all the other stuff too. But E,
yes.
So you mentioned the Dominican runner, right? The 400-meter yard runner. You mentioned on the show a while ago, E, right? You mentioned on the show probably about months ago, right? And you talked about her, and she went out to the Olympics and she won the 400, right?
That's right, baby.
For the woman.
Yeah, that's right, Frank.
So I know you shout out who you like to shout out. So I get, this is your chance to shout out the Dominican.
You know where I'm going with, baby. I told you months ago. I told y'all. No, listen to me, man. I know what listen to me. Listen to me. When it comes to track and field, football, baseball, college football. Listen, I told you months ago, Medalina Polina, gold medalist in the 400 meters. She set the Olympic record, ran 48.7, which is now the current Olympic record. Shout out to you, mama. We love you, de lo mío, baby. Let's go. I told y'all.
Yo, E, just to be clear, right? She was the favorite, number one. So it wasn't like you went out on a limb and you talked about something that no one knew. And number two, that might be one thing, the only thing you got right in the history of the show. But anyway,
here we go.
Shout out to her. Great run. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her for sure. All right, well, listen.
One more thing, Frank. One more thing. Dominican Republic, y'all better do right by this girl, man. Y'all better do right by this lady, man. She comes from humble beginnings. Do right by her. Y'all talking about giving her 8 million pesos. Man, get that woman whatever she requests, give it to her, man. She put Dominican Republic on notice. Come on, man. Come on, Dominican Republic. The president of Dominican Republic, do right by this young lady, man. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on.
All right, come on. Send some of that Washington Heights money to the DR. Come on, E. You know what I'm saying? Get your brothers up in Washington Heights. Send some of that Washington Heights money to the DR, E.
We ain't doing that.
All right, E. Well, listen, man. Always good to have you on the show. As always, great show. Like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear from the fans. All right, E. We out.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Let's go.